All right, everybody, get ready because today we are going to be diving into AI. We got a listener submission called AI Humanity's Final Invention, and it is full of mysteries and conspiracies and the unknown. The big question they are tackling is, will AI save us or destroy us?
It really is a big question. And you know what's so interesting is that AI isn't just science fiction anymore. I mean, it's already part of our lives, and it's only going to get bigger from here.
Yeah.
This episode really tries to figure out what the future of AI might look like, exploring all the possibilities and the problems, too.
Exactly. And I love how this episode is set up like a podcast episode itself. It's got the dramatic music and the cliffhangers and all that. But we're here to unpack all of that, pull out the facts and the fears and all the really interesting points.
Yeah, I think that's really important. We need to look beyond all the dramatic stuff to see what the episode is really saying.
Yeah.
It'll help you understand some of the more difficult ideas and encourage you to think critically about it all.
Okay, so let's get into it. Right away, the episode takes us all the way back to the beginning of AI with Alan Turing in the 1950s. You know the Enigma code breaker? Well, he was also a pioneer in AI. They even talk about how he made a test to figure out if machines could act like humans.
It's called the Turing test. It's amazing to think how far AI has come since then. The episode really highlights the progress we've made, especially in things like deep learning. And deep learning is where things get really interesting. It's basically how AI analyzes tons of data and learns from it, kind of like how we learn from experience, only it's on a much, much larger scale. This is what lets AI do things like recognize pictures, translate languages, and even compose music.
It's wild. They even mention how AI can beat humans at super complex games like Go. You remember when Deep Blue beat that chess champion Kasparov? That was a huge deal. But Go is even more complex than chess, so it really makes you wonder what AI can't do.
Yeah, you really have to wonder what the limits are. But the episode doesn't just focus on all the amazing things AI can do. They also talk about some of the concerns people have, especially the idea of superintelligence. AI that's smarter than any human in every single way, and we might become obsolete. They even quote people like Elon Musk and Stephen Hawking, who have both said that they're worried about this.
Yeah, that is a scary thought. They talk about how superintelligent AI could take over all sorts of systems around the world, controlling our economies, even making decisions about our lives without us even realizing it, like something out of a sci-fi thriller.
And they don't hold back on the fears. They even bring up the idea of autonomous weapons. These are basically AI systems that can make life or death decisions without any human being involved. Imagine drones or robots making decisions about who to attack in a war, all without any human telling them to do it.
Okay, yeah, that is unsettling. All those sci-fi movies about machines taking over are starting to feel a little too real.
It's definitely something we should be thinking about. But they also say that only focusing on the negative can be paralyzing. Fear shouldn't stop us from innovating.
Yeah.
But it should make us think about how to do it responsibly.
Yeah, and that's where things take an interesting turn, right? They start talking about all the good things AI can do. Like, it's this double-edged sword with the power to destroy us, but also the power to help us.
Exactly. They do a really good job of showing how AI could help us deal with some of the world's biggest problems, like climate change, poverty, and diseases. Imagine algorithms that can figure out how to stop natural disasters, or systems that can give everyone access to the resources they need, or personalized medicine based on your own DNA. It's like technology is finally helping us instead of controlling us.
I love that they go into the details of how it could actually work, like using AI to run entire cities, optimizing traffic and energy, and even waste management to create more efficient and sustainable places to live.
It's a great example.
Mm-hmm.
And it shows that we need to think about the ways AI can improve our lives and not just focus on the scary stuff.
Well,
Of course, we still need to think about all the ethical stuff, too.
yeah, like who's in control of these systems and how do we make sure that they treat everyone fairly? And how do we stop them from making existing problems even worse? These are some heavy questions, and the episode doesn't have all the answers.
They don't, but they do a really good job of raising awareness and making you think about these issues. The decisions we make now about AI are going to determine whether it helps us or hurts us.
It feels like we're at a crossroads. We have this incredibly powerful technology, and it's up to us to figure out how to use it. Do we let fear stop us, or do we embrace the possibilities and create a future where AI makes the world a better place?
That's the million-dollar question. And that's exactly what the episode wants us to think about. It's interesting, you know what really struck me is that this episode, it's not just about all the big, amazing things AI could do someday. They also bring it back down to earth and remind us that AI is already everywhere in our lives.
Oh yeah, For sure. I think we get so caught up in the idea of robots taking over that we forget AI is already here. Like it's secretly influencing us in ways we don't even realize.
Exactly. Like they use some really relatable examples, like how streaming services and online stores give us personalized recommendations. That's all AI. It's looking at what we've done in the past and trying to guess what we'll like in the future.
It is kind of cool when you think about it, but it also makes you wonder, are we really making those choices ourselves, or are we just being nudged by some algorithm? I mean, it's kind of creepy to think that our tastes and preferences, even our opinions, could be shaped by lines of code.
Right. And that's where they get into this idea of AI manipulation. What happens when these algorithms get so good that they can figure out our weaknesses? Could they trick us into buying things we don't need or voting for people we wouldn't normally vote for? Or even believing things that aren't true?
Okay, now that is getting a little too Black Mirror for me. I mean, we've all seen those stories about how social media algorithms create echo chambers and filter bubbles, where people only see things that confirm what they already believe.
Exactly. And as AI gets smarter, the potential for that kind of manipulation only gets bigger. It's like we're letting these algorithms make decisions for us without really understanding what's happening.
So what can we do about it? I mean, we can't just unplug from the internet, can we?
Well, that's the tough part. They don't really give any easy answers, but they do say that we need to be more aware, more critical, and more proactive.
So, like, we need to actually question the information we see online and be mindful of the algorithms that are controlling what we see and to try to get information from lots of different sources.
Exactly. It's like we need to develop a kind of AI literacy. We need to understand how these systems work, what they're good at, what they're bad at, and how to spot when they might be biased or trying to trick us.
Right. I like that AI literacy. But it's not just about what we do as individuals, is it? I mean, the companies and developers who are making these AI systems, they need to be more transparent too, right?
Oh, absolutely. We need to know how their algorithms work, what data they're using, and how they're making decisions that affect our lives. We need to be able to hold them accountable.
It's like we need a whole new set of rules for the age of AI. I mean, we have rules for everything else, food safety, financial markets, so why not for the algorithms that are increasingly shaping our lives?
That's a really good point. The episode argues that we can't just sit back and let the tech industry decide how this all plays out. We need to be part of the conversation. We need to demand ethical guidelines, regulations, and safeguards to make sure that AI is developed and used responsibly.
And it's not just about stopping the bad stuff, it's also about using the good stuff. I mean, this episode really gets you thinking about how AI could help solve some of the world's biggest problems, like climate change, poverty, disease.
Right. They talk about using AI to make our energy grids more efficient, to develop new ways to grow food, to personalize education, to create new medical treatments, even to design societies that are more fair and inclusive.
I mean, it's like we're on the verge of a whole new era of progress, but this time it's being driven by AI instead of steam engines or electricity.
Yeah.
It's pretty exciting, but also a little scary, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. And they acknowledge that. They say that AI is like a double-edged sword. It has the power to both liberate us and enslave us, to create and to destroy. They say the key is to approach it with a sense of wonder, but also caution, to be excited about the possibilities, but also aware of the risks.
You know, one thing that really stuck with me was their discussion about AI and jobs. I mean, it's something people have been talking about for years, but it feels like it's becoming more and more relevant as AI gets more advanced.
Yeah, they lay out both sides of the argument. Some people are worried that AI will automate millions of jobs and lead to mass unemployment. Others think that AI will create new jobs and even whole new industries that we can't even imagine yet.
It's like we're standing on the edge of this huge technological earthquake, and we have no idea what the world will look like after it hits.
And they say that the key is to be prepared, to be adaptable, and to invest in education and training so that people have the skills they need to succeed in this new AI-driven world. They say it's not about humans versus machines. It's about humans and machines working together.
It's a fascinating challenge, and it's one that we're going to be dealing with for a long time. But one thing's for sure, we can't just ignore it and hope for the best.
I completely agree. This episode really highlights how important it is to make informed decisions about AI, both as individuals and as a society. We need to have open and honest conversations about the potential benefits and risks. And we need to work together to make sure that AI is used to enhance human potential, not diminish it.
It's like they're saying that it's a team effort. It's not just up to some group of tech experts to decide the fate of humanity. It's up to all of us.
Right. And that's where they take another interesting turn. They start talking about the need for a more democratic approach to AI development, where everyday people are involved in making decisions about how AI should be used.
So it's like they're saying this isn't just some abstract scientific thing. This is about the future of our society, our culture, our humanity. We all need to be part of the conversation.
Exactly. And they give some concrete examples of how this could work, like citizen assemblies, where people from all walks of life come together to discuss the ethical implications of AI,
Yeah.
to give their input on how AI should be used in their communities, and to hold tech companies accountable.
It's a pretty powerful idea. It's about taking control of our future in the face of this technological revolution. It's about making sure that AI serves human needs and values, not the other way around. So, through all this talk about AI, one thing that keeps coming up is consciousness.
It's something that people have
Mhm.
thought about for a long time. But AI is making us think about it in new ways.
Right. It's like asking if we can create a machine that can actually think and feel. And if we can, what does that mean for us? Does it make us less special, or could it help us understand ourselves even better?
Yeah, it's a fascinating question. The episode talks about how there are a lot of different perspectives on this. Some experts think that real AI consciousness is just impossible, that machines can only pretend to think. But others think that it's just a matter of time before we create AI that's smarter than us in every way, including being conscious.
It's like we're looking into this huge unknown.
It's both exciting and scary.
The episode doesn't really give us any answers, but it definitely gets you thinking.
It does. And it reminds us that it isn't just about technology. It's about what it means to be human and where we fit in the universe.
It's heavy stuff. It's easy to get lost in all the philosophy, but I think the episode also does a good job of bringing it back down to earth. Like, what does this all mean for our everyday lives?
Right. They talk about how AI could change everything. Healthcare, education, transportation, entertainment. Imagine a world where AI personalizes your education, or diagnoses your illnesses before you even know you're sick, or creates art and music that's made just for you.
Okay, yeah, that does sound pretty awesome. But they don't forget about the potential problems either, do they? Like, what about people losing their jobs because of AI? Or our privacy being invaded? Or AI being used for bad
Oh,
things?
they definitely talk about those concerns. They say that we need to be proactive. We need to establish ethical guidelines, make sure there's transparency and accountability, and create systems that benefit everyone, not just a few.
It's like they're saying we need to take action. We can't just sit back and wait to see what happens with AI. We need to be informed and involved in shaping its direction.
Absolutely. And I think that's one of the biggest takeaways from this episode. The future of AI is not set in stone. It's being created right now by the choices we make.
So what kind of future do we want to create? Do we want a world where AI helps us solve problems and create a more just and equitable society? Or do we let fear control us and end up in a world of division and distrust?
That's the question, isn't it? The episode doesn't give us a simple answer, but it challenges us to think about these questions, to have conversations about them, and to work together to build a future where AI and humanity can both thrive.
I think what makes this episode so interesting is that it's not just about technology. It's about our values, our hopes, our fears. It reminds us that AI isn't just something that's happening to us, it's something we're all creating together.
The episode talked a lot about the possibility of AI creating either a perfect world or a terrible one. But I think it's important to remember that the real world is never that simple. The future isn't set in stone. It's shaped by everything we do.
So let's keep talking about it. Let's explore the complexities of AI with open minds. Let's demand transparency and accountability from the people creating it. And most importantly, let's work together to create a future where AI empowers us.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Remember, the future of AI is a journey, and we're all in it together.